Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Jay Russell. As I said, Governor Greg Abbott is speaking with the public right now. Let's go ahead and take a live listen in.
We need more now than ever before. So I'm proud to join you back here in Houston, Texas. A city where my wonderful wife, the fabulous First Lady of Texas, Cecilia, she was born right here in Houston. Houston is the city that Cecilia and I moved to after I graduated from law school. It's a city where our daughter, when she was just a young kid, used to spend so much time. It also is a city where Cecilia and I frequented a restaurant nearby where we are, the original Ninfa's in Houston, Texas. And this is the place where I first ran for public office. We won Harris County then, and we are going to win Harris County again this election. So Houston has been a huge part of the tremendous Texas economic success. When I became governor, Texas had the 12th largest economy in the entire world. Wow. Well, that was great, but we're Texas, and 12th isn't really the best. And so we took office and we cut your taxes. We slashed regulations and we attracted more businesses, added more jobs. And today, under my leadership, the Texas gross domestic product has increased to $2.7 trillion a year, making Texas now the 8th largest economy in the entire world. Nowhere but up. That's exactly right. Because we ain't done yet. We're still going. So the Texas economy is larger than the economy of so many other countries. We're larger than the economy of Canada and Mexico, larger than the economies of Italy and Spain. And yes, the Texas economy is larger than the economy of Russia. So listen, since I've been governor, Texas has been ranked #1 in America for the most new jobs. #1 in America is the best state for doing business every year that I've been governor. #1 for business expansions and relocations. And #1 in areas that are kind of important to your everyday lives. Did you know that Texas ranks #1 for the most electricity generation? Things you need to use every single day in your homes. In fact, Texas generates more electricity than the second and third states combined. We're leaders in aerospace, leaders in artificial intelligence. The Texas economy is growing twice as fast as the United States economy. And more Texans have a job today, and their wages are higher than ever before in the history of Texas. Important is this, and that is the driving force of the Texas economy are our small businesses. Businesses like where we are here tonight. Small businesses represent more than 95% of all businesses in Texas. And get this, Texas just announced a new record. We now have more than 3 million registered businesses in the state of Texas, twice the number when I first took office. Most of those are small businesses. And the deal is we want to make sure that we continue to help those small businesses continue to grow. That's why we enacted laws to cut the red tape they have to deal with and to help lower their cost of doing business. It's why that since I've been governor, we have increased the personal property tax exemption from $500 to now $125,000. It's no wonder that more people born in Texas stay in Texas. It is why more Americans are choosing to make Texas home than any other state in the country. The reason for this success is that Texas remains the land of opportunity. We remain a state that insists on the rule of law in our state. We believe in things like hard work, high expectations, and we value our faith, our families, and our freedom. And we are a bastion of common sense in a country that is reeling from far left progressive insanity. Texas is the common sense state in the United States. But Texas isn't just another state.
That's right.
We're your home, your heritage. Texas is the heartbeat of this land we call America. As Texans, we will defend this state with every fiber of our being. We will protect what we built. We will finish what we started. We will lead Texas into its glorious future. And that's why tonight I'm here to announce I am running for re-election as your governor for the great state of Texas.
You just heard Texas Governor Greg Abbott speaking about he will be running again for office again. But I want to take you into something that just happened out of Washington, D.C. We were listening into President Trump as he was out at the Washington Commanders game before. But let's go ahead and listen in and see what he had to say. He just landed.
We're getting very close on the shutdown. We'll never agree to give any substantial money or any money to really prisoners, illegals that come into our country. And I think the Democrats understand that. And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending. You'll know very soon. Thank you.
Tonight, sir.
There we go. Very brief with the president speaking a little bit earlier, just moments ago, actually, as he just returned home. We wanted to bring you those live moments as they were going on. But now we'll go back out to Texas Governor Greg Abbott as he just announced that he will be running for office. Let's go ahead and listen into those comments.
Rebuild and recover. No one does it better than our fellow Texans. The state of Texas also stepped up. Our first responders, they rescued and evacuated more than 1,000 people, saving lives. Wow. And the state has invested more than $500 million to help these communities rebuild and recover from the devastating floods. We've invested in new things like flood warning systems, and we enacted laws to ensure youth camps will be safer for every generation of campers going forward.
Yeah.
In Texas, it's our families that matter the most. We must keep Texas the best state in America to raise a family. One way that we're currently doing that, we're working to contain the cost of living. It's been something we've devoted major steps to. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Child care is one of those expenses. It costs too much for child care. So one big reason for that cost is because of the massive regulations that drive up the cost of that child care. So as we speak, we are cutting hundreds of unnecessary regulations to make child care more affordable in the state of Texas. We also have addressed health care costs as well as accessibility. For example, we capped the cost of insulin. We also invested billions of dollars in state-of-the-art mental health facilities as well as treatment. And we're investing more than $1 billion to improve rural health care, especially for mothers and children in rural Texas. We're also investing more than $1 billion to improve health care for our seniors and the disabled. And we're making access to health care even easier to access for everybody, even in the comfort of your own home, by ensuring that we are bringing telemedicine to every home across the entire state of Texas. The cost of housing is another issue that we've tackled. I want you to know this. Texas ranks #1 in America for building more new homes than any other state. This is important because the increased supply of homes will help drive down the cost of housing. We also enacted laws to make it easier and cheaper to build more homes as well as more apartments. And to say the least, part of housing affordability are the property taxes that Texans have to pay. I want you to know our fellow Texans took a big step in addressing property taxes just this last week when they passed 7 constitutional amendments ensuring that property taxes are going to be cut across the entire state of Texas. It lowers property taxes on every homestead, and more than half of all seniors in Texas will pay $0 on their school district property taxes. Taxes are going to be cut in all 254 of our counties across the state. But listen, let me be very clear about something. The state of Texas does not impose a property tax. It's only local governments that impose property taxes in Texas. Those local property taxes are being hiked by your local governments incessantly. It's time that we drive a stake through the heart of the ability of local property tax hikes in the future. I have 5 solutions for that. The first thing we got to do is stop all of the out-of-control spending that leads to higher property taxes. To do that, local governments must live within their means, just like you have to live within your means. Second, sometimes your property taxes increase and you don't even have any say in it. That must change. To fix that, I want all property tax increases to be voted on and approved by 2/3 of the voters. Now, one thing I know all Texans agree upon, and that is your property taxes are too high. There's something we can do about that, and that's to provide you the ability to vote to roll back your property tax rates. I know you also believe that your property tax appraisals are too high, and they're skyrocketing every single year. To fix that, your appraisal should occur only once every 5 years, and your appraisal cap should be cut from 10% to just 3% a year. And the last thing along these lines, and that is, listen, y'all just voted on 7 constitutional amendments about things like property taxes. It's time to add another one. Voters in Texas should have the ability to vote on a constitutional amendment abolishing the school district property tax in Texas. We are going to turn the tables on local taxing authorities and put the power with the people and put out-of-control property taxes finished in the state of Texas. We transformed education to improve the education for every generation in Texas. Earlier this year, I signed the largest Day 1 school choice program in the history of the United States of America. This ensures that it empowers parents to choose the education pathway that is best for their child. But know this, school choice is not an end unto itself. It is a means to a larger end. Let me go back. Texas ranks #1 in so many ways. We're also #1 for oil and gas, #1 for cattle and cotton, #1 for space and semiconductors. Texas is #1 in the country for the most Tier 1 research universities. The time has come for Texas to set its sights on another #1 ranking. Texas must strive to rank #1 in educating our children. School choice is part of that plan. Choice equals competition, and competition will make all schools better. Public schools, private schools, charter schools, and homeschools. Education across the swath is going to improve. But we wanted to make sure that we equipped our local public schools with the full capability to compete on that stage. And that's why I signed into law the largest funding increase ever for public schools in the state of Texas. Also, maybe the most important thing we have in our schools are our teachers. And we need to be able to attract and to retain the very best teachers. And that's why I signed into law the largest teacher pay raise ever in Texas, a $4 billion pay raise for our teachers. And to improve outcomes, we redoubled our efforts on core subjects like reading and writing, math and science, and we stopped the indoctrination of our kids in classrooms across our state. We banned DEI in our classrooms. And I signed a law saying no boys and girls sports in Texas. It's just common sense. Everything Texas is doing is just common sense. But when you go back and look at all these pieces of education that I've talked about and then piece them together, you can see that we are stitching together the elements that truly do put Texas on the pathway to achieving our goal of being #1 in educating our kids. I want you to know that we're also prioritizing things where we make government work for the people by prioritizing things like public safety. In Texas, we support our law enforcement officers, period. I couldn't believe it. A couple of years ago, there were cities across the country, even cities in Texas, Austin, that were part of this defund the police movement. I said, not on my watch will I allow our law enforcement to be defunded. So I led the effort to get a law passed that I signed that will defund any city that defunds our police. We can never say thank you enough to everyone who wears the uniform and puts their life on the line to protect us. If there's anybody here who's a member of law enforcement, would you please wave your hand so we can see you and thank you. There you go, for your service, for what you guys are doing for our communities. We also enacted laws that keep dangerous murderers and rapists where they belong, which is behind bars. And we deployed a strike force that ensures that we get repeat offenders off our streets. And know this, no state in the history of America has done as much as Texas has to stop illegal immigration and to secure our border. Texas is the only state in American history to build our own border wall. The only state to build border buoys and razor wire to deny illegal entry into our state. And we have National Guard and Department of Public Safety, to the thousands of them, on the border, making arrests of people who enter illegally and seizing deadly fentanyl and getting it off our streets. Because of their efforts, we saw an 85% decline in illegal immigration. And we saw fentanyl deaths decreased by 40% over the past year. And I got to tell you, our efforts on the border have never been better because we finally have Border Patrol unleashed, able to fully do their job and enforce the immigration laws of the United States. I'm proud to say we are joined tonight by the president of the National Border Patrol Council, Paul Perez, and other members of our Border Patrol right back over here. Give it up for the Border Patrol. Thank you guys for what you're doing to keep our country safe. To prioritize public safety, we banned sanctuary cities in the state of Texas. We stopped taxpayer-funded tuition for illegal immigrants. And we made clear only Texas laws and Texas courts govern our businesses and our neighborhoods. And we signed a law that stopped our foreign adversaries like China and Russia from buying land in Texas. In places where Democrats rule, everything's backwards. Illegal immigrants stay in luxury hotels, while Americans have to struggle to pay their own rent. Rioters wave foreign flags while occupying streets, rampaging our businesses, all of it on the dime of the American taxpayer. Democrats support crazy policies like open border policies. They support schools indoctrinating and sexualizing our children. And they can't even say what a woman is. We need to understand what we have in Texas is truly precious. But it can all be destroyed in one bad election. In one election, government can crash the economy, they can destroy your jobs, and they can increase your taxes. In one election, borders can be flung wide open and lawless criminals set free to face no consequences. All it takes is one election. And make no mistake, Democrats want that election to be this election. Billionaires like George Soros and his socialist cronies, they're already spending millions of dollars to take over Texas.
Can't buy our vote.
But tonight, we have a message for those Democrats and their socialist backers. This is Texas. They cannot buy us. They cannot beat us. We will see them at the ballot box. And we will win. We will defend our culture. We will safeguard our Texas values from the radicals who are trying to shove Texas to the far progressive left. Texas was built by the bold, men and women who believed that they could transform a vast frontier into the land of opportunity and prosperity that it has become. We are the sons and daughters of the liberty they fought for. We are heirs to Goliad and the Alamo. We believe in freedom over fear, God over government, and the bona fide greatness of the great state of Texas. We are Texans, and in 2026, we will remind the world that the spirit of Texas will never be broken. We will win this election. We will defend this great state. We will leave our children and grandchildren a Texas that's safer, stronger, freer, and more prosperous than ever before in the history of our state. So tonight, join me in this fight Let's keep Texas, Texas. Let's roll.
Well, there you have it right there. Texas Governor Greg Abbott just relaunched his election bid. You could see the fireworks going out there in Houston, Texas, where this had taken place, and him hugging family members right now on the congratulations. He's watching that right there. We'll go ahead and take that full so we could see the fireworks coming out there. Now, just to reiterate what he said, what he was going to do was, he said during his term that he cut unnecessary regulations to make childcare easier. He also said that he invested millions and also for mental care facilities, also for seniors, and also he tackled the cost of housing, making it cheaper to build those houses and apartments. And then also he had mentioned as well that $4 billion in pay raises for teachers. So you see him smiling at the crowd out there in Houston, Texas right now. We'll bring you the latest if anything else breaks. All right, everybody.